Hey loves, welcome back to TigeraGitana. Today we're going to be making a very quick video. This is a patron voted video. They voted on easy ways to protect yourself. As far as like using magic or just ways to protect yourself. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Okay. I would say the first one right off the bat that I would say ways that you can protect yourself is, I have like two different ones and I want to say one over the other first. I'm just going to pick this one. So the first one I would say is regularly cleansing. Okay. This includes not just taking like spiritual baths, but also taking showers. I say this because I know there's a lot of people that like don't like to shower regularly, but it is really important for you to shower regularly. When you are dirty, when your body is not clean, you are more susceptible to being spiritually attacked, especially if you do not have your spiritual basis and foundations in place. But even if you don't, regardless, you're easier to be attacked. Or even if you do, you are easier to just like, you could be walking down a park and just, you know, have a spirit following you because your protection is down, your aura is down, you're a little mucky, you're dirty, and so your physical form is not maintained in the way that you should be maintaining yourself. So not just spiritual cleansing, but actual cleansing itself is really important when it comes to protection, because then you are kind of setting the intention for your vessel. You're setting the intention for what is on you. There's things that throughout the days that fall on us, that fall on our bodies, that, they touch us, it creates dust, it's kind of like it breaks our clean barrier. It's the same way when you are dirty, you're spiritually dirty, you're not cleansed. You're carrying all this muck, all this stuff that you walked in through, that you didn't even see that you walked in through. You're carrying all this kind of junk, and so it's really important for you to cleanse yourself regularly, not just spiritually, not only spiritual baths, but also through just cleansings. Period, are very protective in nature, especially when you do so with intention, because intention is a very big one. So the second one that I wanted to talk about is working with the archangels, especially Archangel Michael, because he is the archangel of protection. When it comes to like basics in protection, the archangels are definitely 100% there. And the reason for this is because when you're talking about, and I've spoken about this before, when you're talking about like our Archangel Michael, for example, his dominion is over demons and darker entities. And so when you're talking about protection over darker entities, negative vibes, all of these type of things, you are talking about Archangel Michael's dominion. He dominates over them. That is his role. And so when you're calling on Archangel Michael to protect you, you are tapping into an angelic force that dominates over that issue, that thing that we just spoke about. And so when you're feeling like dense, when you're feeling like you have bad energy, you don't know what's up with you, you're feeling cloudy, all of that kind of stuff, you feel like you've got like almost like spiritual gunk on you, Archangel Michael is the one that you want to work with. You can also work with Archangel Raphael, because he is the archangel of healing, to cleanse a lot of that, especially when it comes to working or healing in a spiritual, like trying to cleanse away in that on a spiritual level. And on a physical level, you can work with Archangel Raphael, but Archangel Michael is one that you will find that when you're getting like attacked in person, when it's currently happening, if you have like a lot of like your friends throwing the evil eye at you, or people actively within that moment doing stuff to you, or you just walked into a room where it was a really bad vibe and then you feel like you kind of went with you and stuff like that, you're going to want to call on Archangel Michael to cleanse you away. You're going to want to pray on it as well. It's the easiest way to communicate with the archangels is to pray and meditate. Those are the two ways to communicate with them, the easiest way. The third way would be to carry crystals, and the reason for this is because crystals they're physical objects which are nature-based with a spiritual essence to them. So each crystal has a spirit to them. They have a vibe, they have a vibration, they have different things that they rule over as well, different areas that they help you in. And so when you work with crystals, depending on what crystal it is, clear quartz is going to be your most basic one that you can work with and charge in different ways and with different intentions to work as different crystals as well, which is really cool. But it's just one of the basic ones that you can use for protection. However, be mindful that clear quartz also absorbs energy really easily. So you can also use clear quartz to absorb any energy that others are trying to send to you into the crystal itself, and then just cleanse away the energy at a later time. That's something that you can also do. But just be mindful that you will have to cleanse that crystal specifically a lot. So there's different crystals that I use for protection. My favorite one is always going to be my birthstone, which is garnet. And the reason being is because it's my root chakra stone. Garnet it's a very sexual stone, but it does work with the root chakra. And the reason why I kind of focus a little bit more on the root chakra space when it comes to protection and working with the stone is because I don't want whatever intention, whatever bad vibes that I have picked up, okay, or that has been sent to me and whatever I need to protect myself in to affect my physical realm. I don't want it to affect my finances. I don't want it to affect my love life. I don't want it to affect my home. I don't want to affect my family. I want to keep my root chakra protected from any of that coming in and manifesting in the physical realm. Same with like a disease or something like that. I'd rather heal an issue with a blockage of a chakra spiritually than having to deal with it physically, because physically it's gonna take a little bit more hard work to remove the issue and heal the issue. So I like to make sure my root chakra is protected first and foremost. As a Capricorn, I want to make sure that's the one thing that it does not get touched. I'm pretty sure all the earth signs would agree with me on this. So there's that. But that's the one I personally use for protection. I charge it for protection. I ask for it for protection. There's also other crystals that I use depending on, like for example, carnelian, I will work with Sekhmet for healing specifically. And I will ask her to charge that crystal for healing specifically to help me maintain my healing, make sure I'm balanced, make sure that I'm doing well, that I'm not in pain, that like let's say my back is hurting, my muscles are hurting, whatever. I'm not in pain. I'm not like nobody is sending any, that I'm not absorbing any negative intention towards me, towards my health or anything like that. And I'll ask her to charge that crystal for that. I'll leave it in her altar space while the sun is out. When the sun sets, I will take it from our altar, and then I will wear it for a certain amount of time, over an hour or something like that. And that's something that really works for me when it comes to maintaining and protecting my health. So you can do this in different ways. You can use different crystals in different ways. You can use, for example, jade or citrine, and you can charge it in your money altar to protect your finances. You can also do that. So there's different ways to use crystals. You could also do that with your like rose quartz, with your any type like love crystals to protect your love life as well, by wearing it and just setting the intention for those crystals, putting it in the altar, letting it charge with that intention and just wearing it. And yeah, that's one of my kind of, I guess, tips that people don't really use that often. I mean, I know people use crystals, but I don't know if people like use crystals the way that I kind of do. Like I like to experiment a lot, but that's one of my favorite ways to work with my crystals into maintaining my protection space, my energy. Now I believe that was the third. I'm on the fourth. I don't know. I think we're on the fourth. The fourth is going to be for protection. Basics for protection is to make sure that you have a cleansed space, home space, sacred space, that your home area is cleansed and blessed and prayed over and protected. Okay, it is very, very important for you to keep your home space protected, and for you to do those protection spells, those home protection spells. If you guys want me to show you guys a couple of different like home spell like protection videos, I can just put it in a comment. I'll try to work on it for maybe like next week. It's not actually something that's ridiculous to even think about working on right now because it's Virgo season. Virgo season is all about the home and the mundane, so it's really much in divine timing anyway. But there's different ways that you can protect the home. You can make sure that it's regularly cleansed. You can make sure that you're regularly blessing it, working with spirit to cleanse away the energy as well. Make sure that you are using blessing your home in different ways. You can use sweetgrass braid to reset the energy of your home space. I know sage is very popular. I personally, my favorite is frankincense and myrrh because it just completely makes spaces holy. But I also, there's rituals that I do for the front of my house, for like the entrance of my home. There's rituals that I do for anywhere that like all of the windows and stuff. Using salt, make sure, especially if you have animals in the house, making sure that the things that you're using are animal friendly as well. It's very important. But just making sure that the corners of your house, everything that is cleaned, and that you're kind of maintaining the energy of abundance and creating that bubble of protection, which is something that you can also do. You can visually go into a meditation and create a whole bubble of protection around your home, so nothing comes past that point as well, except for the abundance and love, those blessings as well. So there's different ways to kind of go about blessing your home, and I know that different cultures have different ways of doing so, and so you want to kind of see like how it's been done traditionally in your family. I know there's many ways that, there's just so many ways of doing it, but you can also make like there's different herbal remedies and it's almost like teas that you can it's almost like a tea, but it's like a bath like that you can make for your house, and you're just pouring it over in different areas and just mopping with it. Different floor baths, floor washes that you can use instead of floor baths. Well, technically, isn't it though? I'm just saying. But different floor washes that you can use to bless your home space as well. I work with them a lot. I also charge some in my altar space, so they get that energy. I'm setting that intention as well. Same with the crystals. I do charge my floor washes with that specifically as well. So it's strong and it's like focused on the thing. Yeah, so that's that one. And the last one that I'm going to mention, I believe this is the fifth one. I hope this is the fifth one. I'm pretty sure it's the fifth one. But the last one I want to mention is working with your ancestors for this. You guys know I'm always going to bring up the ancestors because a lot of people need to be working with their ancestors. They need to be doing a lot of healing work with the ancestors, but they also need to be asking for protection from the ancestors as well, especially when it comes to family matters, especially when it comes to your own family members being very divisive, very jealous, because that happens. That just happens. You do have you can literally protect yourself, and you could have somebody within your bloodline also sending you this type of energy. So you want to make sure that you're working with your ancestors to not only reflect that back, but also karmically work on them and send more positive vibes to them, and ask your ancestors to help them evolve, help them progress, or just completely separate from, if they're really causing so much chaos, help them just be removed from and become in distance of, and they'll move to Brazil or something. So you want to make sure that you're doing ancestor work, because your ancestors are your first line of battle. They're your goon is your first line of attack, and so they will go to bat for you. So you need to make sure that you're working with your ancestors in the first place. So make sure you're keeping your ancestor altar, make sure you're doing libations, and make sure you're always asking for protection. Protection is like the first thing I ask for my ancestors every single day. And I ask my angels for protection as well, but I also ask, first and foremost, my ancestors for protection every single day, and to also open the way for me to receive and learn. So any lessons that I need to learn, for that also to come through. So you have to be very mindful of what intentions and how you're working with your ancestors. Your ancestors are a huge door of opportunity into having a very protective home and a blessed family line, because you can have your whole thing be good and then your whole family suffering, and it trickles into you because you're part of that bloodline. So you do have to kind of do the work when it comes to that. So I hope that this was helpful. I will definitely see you guys in the next one. Do not forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified every time I upload. And do not forget to check out the Patreon as well, because they voted for this video. And they get to vote on a lot of the videos that I make on the channel, which is something that's really cool. But they do have a lot to say as the direction of the channel goes, and we've just been growing a lot over there, always learning and growing over there. So definitely stay tuned for more. I will definitely see you guys in the next one. I love you guys. Bye.